Nellie nutgraf, the double best reporter in history. Book 7, The Big Scoop. Tom Engelberger, illustrated by Julian Reid. Warning. Welcome to the least educational series of all time. Nellie nutgraf reports on the biggest stories in history, but it's a wacky version of his history where everything is happening at once, including a lot of things that didn't happen. Of course, Queen Victoria didn't use a jetpack to feed sardines to the Loch Ness Monster. So don't put that on the history test, or you'll consider yourself warned. This story is told by Paul Bunyan about his friend Nellie nutgraf. She wants to cross the Atlantic Ocean, see all the news in England for herself, and get it all on the front page of the big city big news. Will it be told? Yes. Will it be dangerous? Yes. Will it be historically accurate? Never. Chapter 1. Hey, it's me, Paul Bunyan. Remember the giant who has a giant beard, a giant axe, a giant ox, and a giant plaid shirt? Actually, my plaid shirt is in the wash today, which is why I'm just sitting here in my giant Big Apple t-shirt. But enough about me. I've got to get busy. I tell you about the time Nellie nutgraf went over to England. I've told you before about how Nellie is the double best reporter in the history of America, right? She's the one who wrote the first stories about Davy Crockett, Molly Hatchet, Annie Oakley, Fats Waller, Linda, better known as Bigfoot, Herbert Humphreys, Horse, and me, Paul Bunyan. Well, she is also the triple best reporter in the history of England. She is the only person able to interview Sherlock Holmes, the Queen, and the Loch Ness Monster on the same day. Don't believe me? You will after you read this book. You know, it's always hard to me to write these books. I'm too big to use a typewriter like Nellie does. I tried it once, but I squashed the typewriter flat when I pressed the very first letter. So, this time I hired a family of beavers. I'll tell the story out loud to them, and then they'll chew the words into logs, or actually, they'll chew logs into words. I sure hope they know how to spell. Chapter 2. Andy Nellie nutgraf got a phone call. Okay, hold up. Give me a little time to teach the beavers how to spell, and I'll get right back to the story. 5 years later. Okay, let's try this again. Ready, beavers? I'm so proud of you. Chapter 2. One day, Nellie nutgraf got a phone call. She picked up the phone and said, I'm sorry, phones haven't been invited yet. Please send me a letter. Just then, the mail arrived. There's a letter here for you, Nellie said. Her editor, Brian the editor. Thanks, said Nellie, and she ran across the big city newsroom to get it. Hey, watch out, complained the other reporter. Hotshot Tursky, you almost knocked over my coffee. Nellie ripped open the letter, read it, and then began a jumping and the hovering. Now you did knock over my coffee, cried Hotshot Tursky. What are you so excited about? Asked Brian the editor. I sure hope it's a big story. It's huge, shouted Nellie. Sherlock Holmes agreed to an interview. That would be a real scoop, said Brian the editor. No one has ever gotten an interview with Sherlock Holmes before. Wait, said Hotshot Turbosky. I thought Sherlock Holmes was a fictional character. Yes, but so are you, said Nellie. Oh, said Hotshot Turbosky. Now you all know what a fictional character is, right? That's a character that somebody just made up out of their imagination. Like Bobo, the dancing unicorn. Bobo's not real. He's fictional. He's also got bad breath, and I sure wish that was fictional. He really needs a real toothbrush. Anyway, Sherlock Holmes isn't real, but he lives in a real place. 22 1B, Baker Street, London, England, which is on the other side of the ocean from where Nellie was right then. So, can I have some money to buy a ticket on a big boat so I can get to England? No, said Brian the editor. This is an outrage, yelled Nellie. Sorry, said Brian the editor. But Hotshot Turbosky just spent all the money on the second cup of coffee. What? Hey, said Hotshot Turbosky. Mocha, coca, grand espresso, baker latte with extra whipped cream and chip. That's really an outrage, shouted Nellie. I'm going out to get a big scoop that will make the newspaper a lot of money instead of wasting that money on coffee. You should use it to spend me to get more scoops. Okay, said Brian the editor. So you pay for this trip? Asked Nellie. No, said Brian the editor. But if this trip gets you a big scoop, I will pay for the next trip. This is an outrage, cried Nellie. But I'll go away anyway, just to prove my point. And she grabbed her notebook, her camera, her typewriter, some beef jerky, and a life preserver, and ran out of the office. She knocked over my coffee again. Vinette Hotshot Turbosky. The end. See more next in chapter 3.